Yo, yo, yo. Back at it with a video about chaos magic, chaos energy, chaos witches, and are you one? Now, this is part 2 because I got cut off, like my time got cut off previously, and I really felt like I want to go more in depth with in depth with this thing because chaos magic and chaos energy is such a vast thing, and there's so many different ways to sort of go about it, and also because it is quite like intense energy, so I just wanted to make sure that I just talk about it a little bit more. So I want to start by going back to this quote from Witcher. I just love using like TV and film and story analogies. There's some hidden gems in a lot of those things. So this quote is about like chaos energy. So it goes like this. Magic is organizing chaos, and while oceans of mystery remain, we have decided that this requires two things: balance and control. Without them, chaos will kill you. So kind of going more in depth to what that kind of means. Like what makes chaos energy something you can work with. Because the word chaos itself kind of indicates just something that's all over the place, but that is not the case. So as you might have noticed, there's three things there mentioned: chaos, balance, and control. So it's this holy trinity almost, like it's almost like this holy trinity. So control and chaos. So controlled chaos would mean that you are organizing chaos, organized chaos. So what happens when you control the chaos? You basically are controlling the chaos, which equals into organized chaos. Okay? And then chaos plus control. So again, you are, controlled in chaos. You are in control of chaos, because you cannot like just be without chaos. Like chaos is the kind of the prevalent energy in this world. So controlled chaos, you are in control of chaos, would create balance. You are balanced, right? If you are controlled, in control, in the midst of chaos, you achieve balance. You can't have any of these three without the other. Like you need all of these in order to create, if that makes any sense. This is almost how you kind of recognize balance. This is how you come to know balance. This is also how you come to know chaos. And this is how you come to know control. You need all three of these. how else would you know that these exist? There is no balance without you balancing something out, you know? And like chaos is important. It's not, it sounds scary, but it is not. So I just wanted to, I don't know if that made it any clearer, but just to go like a little bit more into that, you know? So kind of keeping in line with that balance thing, I was talking about, you know, how important it is to a chaos magician to channel your energy into something, because chaos energy, you know, if it's out of control, can create quite a lot of like restlessness and almost like anxiety, you know. And you know, so in this type of magical path, your level of self-awareness, know thyself, is very it's like the key element, really, that really opens you up to more experiences in chaos magic, because you are a highly sensitive person. And I mean this also in a way, if we want to list some of the personality traits, I would, you know, say that you are probably very sensitive. So you may not like show it, like you might have this exterior where it seems like, you know, it seems like things don't bother you, because you might be quite the individual, like a little bit weird in nature, and you wear that, you know. But if somebody says something to you, or you are criticized, or things like that, it really, you know, affects you, or you kind of, you know, feel hurt. And also sensitive in a way where you read people's energy. Like you can almost, like, you know how they say that some empaths or sensitive, highly sensitive people can almost like take on other people's personalities, because they are so sensitive to the energy. So you really need to know yourself so you don't get like lost in the sauce. And this also helps you to protect your energy, so that, let's say you're in a public situation where there is a lot of people, so that you don't feel like anxious all over the place, or you don't, because you know, sometimes these type of people who observe the other people's energy, you might like all of a sudden say things you don't even like mean or want to say, or like you act a little bit irrational, or like in a way that even you are kind of like, where did that come from? Like when you come back home, you're just like, what the fuck did I say or do? And the reality might be that you were kind of channeling some other person's energy. So, you know, your level of self-awareness, knowing yourself, is very important. So you need to, again, I just want to preface that you need to channel your energy. You don't have to, like, I understand that meditation like can be quite difficult to some people, especially if you have overactive mind. It's not the easiest, but you know, there's ways to meditate without you like sitting in a and arming away, like without sitting in a lotus position and not move, because there is sort of this natural meditation that happens when you are, let's say, creating art or exercising, making, you know, creating art that kind of encompasses everything, painting, you know, decorating, making music, and all that jazz. So, you know, and sometimes I almost feel like the natural way of meditating is, it's almost like more powerful, or not more powerful, I shouldn't say that. Well, it can work for you better if you find yourself being a little kind of like an ADD type of person. Now, also kind of in relation to that, it's very possible that you've had or experienced or are experiencing a form of some form of kind of OCD. So perhaps it is something you wash your hands a lot, or like that sort of classic OCD that we think of, or just like you have rituals of some sort, obsessions, I should say, because like I was saying, chaos energy without the balance, it's quite the energy. So it's almost like most OCD cases, it's a form of control. It's a form of like you feeling that you are in control. It's a form of safety mechanism. So, you know, there's nothing to be ashamed, obviously, about. Like OCD is so common, but you know, obviously, we wish that no one would have to battle with those type of things. And it's a form of anxiety as well. So the more you know where things might come from, the easier it is to, you know, tackle them. You know, just do you, boo. And you know, because a chaos, which tends to be a person of extremes anyway. I was talking about the indulgent part of it. So it, you know, you tend to go to extremes. You know, you're not really the gray area. You know, there really often is not that. Like you're either in or you're out. So it's important in life to find balance, as we said in the start. So, and one kind of weird, interesting thing, but you might have, you know, this kind of weird love for misunderstood villains in stories or films, etc., or in, like, let's say in media, in pop culture, who might have like this sort of underdog backstory, you know? Like think about someone like Harvey Dent, you know, Two-Face from Batman, or Red Queen from Alice, or a little bit like, you know, like people like that, you know, that they call them like sophisticated villains or something. There's like a name for that sort of type of villain that has like manners and is intelligent and so on. Or like Iceman from Batman. Did I already say Iceman? I don't know. I mean, Batman has one of the best villains, really. Like they really like I have empathy for the villains in Batman. They just really have made those characters like in depth. So because you might have like an underdog story, so you kind of relate to that. And also, you know, because a lot of you know, villains seem to operate a little bit in, well, those type of villains at least seem to operate a little bit from the point of view of chaos energy. You know, although a lot of them, you know, well, I'm not gonna go into that. I'm blabbering now, but you know, you might have love for misunderstood, sophisticated villains that have like a backstory, you know, and they're just not like evil, you know. And also like a weird thing might be that you might be also somebody who's a lot, I don't know how to say this, but like, well, a little smarter than you look. So you might have been even, let's say, at school, kind of like a class clown, like, especially if you are a male, sort of this, and you might be a little rough around the edges, a little like bad on the mouth, you know. Bad on the mouth. Ooh, that sounds creepy, but you know, because, and also like chaos witches kind of like to swear. They like profanities because swear words are curse words, curse words. I was thinking, is swear word a word? I'm from Finland. Again, I have to use the English is not my first language card from time to time, but curse words. So, you know, because they also call them like power words. There is, if you think about word like fuck, you know, it's very, and because they also mean something, like fuck also has like meaning, you know, just beyond, beyond it, you know, being a curse word. So, and curse word, you know, it's kind of, there's intention there also. Not right now, but I mean in general, like curse word. So chaos magicians really might swear a lot, but going back to, so you might have been like this sort of class clown. I don't mean that you were like a bully or anything. You were probably like this person that maybe hang out with people that might have been a little bit like, you know, that kind of like a little bully-ish, but you were actually perhaps even defending, you know, the underdogs or the nerds, because you actually inside of you knew that you're actually a nerd yourself, but maybe you were, you know, afraid to kind of bring that out, because for some reason you really kind of enjoyed, or your other friends were more so on the cooler side. So you know, so they might have like a little bit like bullied somebody nerdy at your school, and you were, hey guys, like, let's go, leave them alone, you know, because inside of you, like, you knew that you're actually the same as the nerd, you know. So that's something I thought I throw out there. And now I also really want to emphasize the importance of shadow work. Now, I don't want to sound preachy, but like going back to the self-awareness, and in general, to me, I find it quite difficult to see how you can do witchcraft without doing shadow work. Like, if you really feel the call to be a witch, like authentically, I hope that there is, because it starts like, oh, this is so cool, spells, whoa. And when you see like things manifesting is so like exhilarating. But at some point, it should kind of turn around and become a little bit more than that. And I hope that there is this sense of responsibility that kind of awakens inside of you. Again, you know, we all live our lives according to our own, you know, preferences, but I really, really want to preface the importance of shadow work, and you really kind of going in, you know, to yourself, and, you know, you don't obviously have to do that all the time. You need to just be able to be and live. And again, not being too hard on yourself, but you need to be kind of real with yourself. Like, keep it real. Ali G. So yeah, now I'm sorry guys if I'm a little bit all over the place. It's been a week. It really has here in Finland for me, you know. So I thought I would be, you know, smart enough to go into this next topic, but I realized that perhaps I'm not yet there. But I thought that it's very important to mention this anyway, and that is because we talk about intention in witchcraft, which is, you know, obviously everything. But there is also this element of destiny, chance, purpose. In Witcher, they call it the element of surprise. So, you know, and that is a little bit also the reason why, especially in chaos magic, it's almost like impossible to make mistakes, because there's always this sense of what's for you. And I wanted to go into, you know, kind of the relation between intention and you know, what's for you. Like, in what intention and, you know, what's for you. Intention versus destiny, and which is more powerful. But I decided I need to, you know, humble myself and think about it a little bit more, because that is quite the subject to think about. But I still thought that it is like important to mention that, because it does play a big part in chaos magic. So call it destiny, call it chance, call it purpose. And in like Kemetic teachings, they teach you that you do not attract what you want, you attract who you are. And I just thought it's a little bit fitting for this. So, you know, I want to leave this now to be, and hope you got something out of this. I just felt like I wanted to go just a little bit more in depth with this subject, and you know, really blessings to all of you, and you know, happiness, joy, oneness, peace, and all is mental. Namaste. Bye.